If you want to learn how to pattern and sew a front pocket you see on all your favourite trousers, please just keep watching. Hey guys, it's me Ryan and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new around here, my name is Ryan and I'm a fashion designer based in Wales. As I said in the beginning of the video, today I'm going to be teaching you how to pattern draft and sew a front pocket of a trouser. It's totally up to you what kind of style of pocket you want, whether it's more square, whether it's more curved. The only thing you will change depending on the design is literally the shape of the pocket, which I will show you in this video, but the same techniques are applied for the front pocket of a trouser. So if you want to learn how to create a front pocket of a trouser, quick and simple, please keep watching. So we're now at the cutting table, and the first thing I want to show you guys is the actual tools and equipment you're going to need in order to create this. So of course you're going to need your pattern paper. I just use the spot and cross pattern paper which I get on a roll. You're also going to need a tape measure of some sort, your pattern master, a pencil, preferably a mechanical one because they are the most accurate, and then you're going to need the front part of your trouser pattern, so the front pattern of your trouser. Well, the first thing you're going to do is take your pattern piece, and if it's already traced on the paper you can skip this step, but if you are using a block like me, which you most probably are if you're creating this from scratch, you first need to trace your block onto a separate bit of pattern paper so the block remains the same so you can use it over and over again. As I said, I do recommend using a pencil, but for demonstration purposes today I will be using a blue like felt pen because it will show up better on camera, but if you are doing it for the real pattern, use a pencil, do not use this. This is for demonstration purposes only. Okay, so now your pattern's traced and ready to be altered. So we're going to be focusing on the area over here, which is the side seam, because obviously the pocket will be going this side of the trouser, not at the front. So the first thing you're going to do is decide on how big you want the pocket and also the shape of the pocket itself. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a curved pocket, but again this is a style line. If you want it to be square, you will just do a square. If you wanted it to be angled, you just do an angle. It is just a style line, it can be changed. It's the same process for the pocket, doesn't matter what style it is. But as I said, today it is going to be a curved pocket. First, what I'm going to do is mark over on the waistline just how wide I want it to come out from the side seam. So personally, I'm going to mark over 5 centimeters. Next, you want to decide on how big you actually want the opening of your pocket. I'm going to put my hand there. I'm going to need the opening to be at least there for it to be comfortable. And that is my first marking, my second marking there. So this is your first marking up here. So if I put number 1 and then number 2, that is your second marking up there. So now you've created these initial markings, number 1 and 2. What you're going to do next is create the style line. Like I said, if you want it to be an angled pocket, you can simply just draw a straight line. If you want it to be curved, you curve it. If you want it to be square, you make it square. This part is your choice. For this demonstration, I'm purposely going to curve the pocket because I do like that style. So I'm going to place my pattern master on my pocket, and I'm first going to line that up there. So as you can see, the bottom of the pattern master hits perfectly at that notch, and then it'll come up there. And then what I'm going to do is simply trace around this. Like so. And as you can see, this is immediately the style of the pocket, so it's what you're going to see at the front of the trouser. So the next thing you're going to want to do is create the pocket bag, which in itself will create the facing as well. I will explain them both once we've done the style. So as you can see, we've done point 1, point 2 and point 3, which are the first 3 steps of creating the pocket. Next you're going to create point 4, which will be the start of the pocket bag. So I've marked a further 4 centimeters over from point 1, which is here, and I'm going to mark this as number 4. Then you're going to want to decide where you want the pocket bag to stop. Personally, I don't go any lower than the hip line. I just think it creates bulk and it's just unnecessary. But of course, if you guys are doing this for a design choice, or if you want it bigger because it's by design, then go ahead, go as big as you want. But for an everyday trouser, this is going to be as long as in general you're going to want it to have, because as I said, it will start to get bulky. So once you've decided where you want the bag to stop on the side seam, just freehand a curve going to number 4 to 0.4. So if we label this as 0.5, freehand a curve from 0.5 to 0.4, and then we will tidy it up with a pattern master. This is just to get an idea of the bag. So as you can see, I've created a curve freehand from 0.5 to 4 or 4 to 5, whichever you want to think of it. And then I'm going to take my pattern master and tidy that up once again. So as you can see, I've now created the style line for the pocket bag. This is the basic draft of the pocket. Next, you're going to add your notches. These are very important because you need these later on in order to match everything up when you're sewing, to know that it's accurate when you put everything back together. So I'm going to add two notches to line number 3. 1, 2. Then I like to add 3 notches to the pocket bag, just so I can differentiate, know what's what, and I know where everything's going to go. So I like to put 1 in the middle here, 1 on the curve, and 1 at the bottom. Now that's the basic draft done, complete. But as I said earlier, this is now the facing and the bag. Pocket bag becomes a part of the side seam of the trouser. So when you trace this onto separate pattern paper, this part here that I will mark with the blue lines, this part that is clearly marked with the blue lines is the facing. That is solely the pocket facing. Then when you trace it again, so trace this part out, just this curve, this shape here, that will be the facing. And then when you trace it again, trace all the way around. So from 4 to the corner of the seam, all the way down and back around. That entire piece, this entire draft here, will come the pocket bag. And that's how you create the full pocket bag on the inside. So now the actual draft of the pocket is complete. You don't need to do any other drafting. So what you're going to do next is take separate pattern paper and trace off the facing and then the pocket bag. And once you've done that, I'm now going to show you guys how to actually sew this into a pocket on a garment. So once you've traced the pocket bag and the pocket facing, then trace your trouser front. As I said, the new front of your trouser does not include this part over here. The new front is from the center front 2.1 along the style line of the pocket and then down and the remainder of the trouser. That's because the pocket bag, like I said, will make up the remainder of the side seam of the trouser. The pattern pieces you should now have is your trouser front. Of course mine's shorter, this is just a sample. You should then have your facing and then your pocket bag. So what will happen is your facing will get stitched there and then it will get folded under, and then the pocket bag will get stitched to the facing and create the rest of the side seam, and then it will create the front. So I'm going to cut these in fabric and then I'm going to show you guys how to actually sew them. So first, take your front trouser. If you have darts or pleats, sew them first. To take your front trouser and place it right side facing you. Take your facing piece and place it right sides together with the front, and then align the notches as you can see, let's go over to the sewing machine, and what I'm going to do is stitch 1 centimetre, stitch these together at the seam allowance you added. I added 1 centimetre, so these are going to be stitched at 1 centimetre along the edge. So now the facing is complete. This is what the front of your trouser should now look like. As you can see, there's the style line of the pocket, and you can just see the facing underneath. This is what it looks like then from the inside of the trouser. So the facing, and you can see the understitching. Of course, normally this would be all matching in terms of thread, but this is a demonstration. So now you're almost there. You're literally 95% there. So all you need to do is add the bag. So to do that, you take your pocket bag and you place it right sides down onto the facing, whilst the wrong side of the trouser is facing towards you, so you're looking at the inside of the trouser. So take your pocket bag and place it right sides down, and as you can see, the pocket bag should line up pretty well with the facing. Of course, you have your notches which we put in the pattern, so align your notches and pin this together. I'll then show you how to sew it without going through the front of the trouser. So once you've pinned them together, only pin the bag to the facing. You're then going to take it, so the both layers in your hand, and flip it like this. So the front of the trouser is one way, and then you just have the facing and the bag pinned together in the other hand. Take it to your sewing machine and stitch using the seam allowance you added to the pattern. Again, mine was 1 centimetre, from the top all the way around. So as you guys can see, I've just taken that over to the sewing machine, and I've stitched the pocket bag and the facing layers together, only down the side and across the bottom. Because the pocket bag does make up the rest of the side seam, you don't need to stitch this part at 1 centimetre, but I do like to add a tacking stitch at the side here. You can also add it at the waistband as well, just to keep the pocket in place before you actually stitch the fronts to the backs, because of course all this will be enclosed with the side seam when you stitch the fronts to the backs. But this is it. This is how you create a front pocket on a trouser. This is it from the inside. Of course, you probably finish the edge with some sort of finishing, whether that's just an overlock stitch or binding. And then from the front, as you can see, once it's all pressed nice and flat, this is what it looks like. You've got your style line, so the style of the pocket. Again, this can be changed whether you want it square, whether you want it angled, whatever you guys want. This is it. You literally just have to change the shape. That's how you draft and sew a basic front pocket for a trouser. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope it has helped. I really do think that the front pocket is one of the most simplest to create once everything is broken down, and I do hope that you guys have gotten that from this video. If this video has helped you, please be sure to let me know down below in the comments. And if you do create this pocket yourself, please be sure to tag me in your images of it over on Instagram. My Instagram is always linked down below. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope it has helped any of you. And if it has, again, let me know down below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new around here to be updated in all of my future videos that are upcoming. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.